team at Inverleigh, we're the mighty.
And welcome back, and we're able to talk Luke Rayner, the coach of the Winchelsea Footy Club, to stick around for the last segment and give us his opinion of the games on this afternoon. And the big one is out at the Inverleigh Oval. It is the 94.7 match of the round. It's the Inverleigh Hawks up against the Belmont Lions. They're in pretty good form at the moment, so I'll put you right on the spot, Luke, straight away, mate. Inverleigh or the Belmont Lions?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Dick. Pretty evenly matched sides. Both got some good forwards. Both aggressive type of sides in terms of the way they play. Plenty of youth in amongst the group as well and speed, so I'd anticipate that it'd be a pretty close game. I think just probably consistency in the way they have been playing over the sort of course of the year thus far probably gets Inverleigh over the line out there. So,
Grubby, you mentioned off air before that the Belmont Lions dropped a couple of games they should have won, so they should be in a much better position now at the moment. But the fact is they're against Inverleigh today. It's going to be a tough call out there.
Oh, it's going to be tough, right? And the game you're talking about really is the Werribee Centrals game down at the Winter Resort. They should never have lost that. And they let Werribee Centrals in and they cost themselves 4 points. Inverleigh last week, they didn't do that. They beat Werribee Centrals by about 10 or 15 goals. So out at Inverleigh, they dropped one 2 weeks ago and they didn't play that well, but they obviously came back last week and give us a belting, and I think they'll give Belmont a belting here today too.
Okay, well, out at Footrod Flats, the Anarchy Roos, well, their party was spoilt last week. They had it all under control, and Winchelsea came over the top of them in the last quarter and spoilt their big reunion out there. But they're at it again, out at Footrod Flats, and they take on the Bannockburn Tigers. And Grubby, the Bannockburn Tigers weren't that impressive against West last week.
No, they weren't. That's a sign of a good side, though. You play one of your bad games and you still get the 4 points. And that's what we were saying about Belmont before. They played a bad game and lost. But, you know, with Anarchy, we spoke to Phil Gavin last week. And they were supposed to be able to beat the good side, the bad sides, and couldn't beat the good sides. And they went out there and got beaten by Winchelsea, and I give them no chance whatsoever to beat Bannockburn today. But who knows? Footy's a funny game.
How do you give Bannockburn, Luke?
Bannockburn for me, they had a pretty strong year. Got some really good players through the middle of the ground. Obviously dangerous up forward. Burke's a little bit of a loss for them, but yeah, listen, they've proven to be another pretty consistent performer, so I'd imagine Bannockburn will go out and get the points.
There you go. Okay, well, out at the Gun Club, it's Luke's game. The Winchelsea Blues, and they take on the Tommy Tigers, who are a bit stiff last week against Belpost Hill because they're such a good side, the Panthers, but they have a crack today out at Winchelsea. So, Luke, how much can Winchelsea win by? You can't say they won't win, mate. Yeah, come on.
Oh, listen, I think
if he wants.
We're certainly after a really improved performance. I think they got us by about 10 or 11 goals earlier on in the season. Mind you, Jackson McLeod was playing. I think he might have kicked 6 against us, so it's a good one to have out from our perspective, although Darren bobs up as a very good small forward last week and kicked 7 against Belpost Hill. So they've certainly got some firepower up forward. I think they're playing a really good brand of footy, sharing the workload and getting a pretty even contribution. So we'll no doubt be doing our best to sort of try and quell their better players. And I think if we can bring our best footy, and that's probably the issue for us, is can we bring enough of our best footy for long enough against a side that's been playing pretty well over the course of the season. If we can, we're a chance. If we can't, we'll get done.
I watched Thompson 3 times. They play football that's good enough to test the top sides, but they always play 20 minutes of utter crap. And when they do that, good sides score goals against them. Like Belpost still kicked about 6 or 7 in that little block, and they're not good enough to make up that deficit. Other sides who are not so good might only get 3 or 4, and they can get back. So they're a bit of an enigma to me, Thompson. Sometimes they play really good, sometimes they don't. But I tell you what, when they do have that play that rubbish football, that's when you've got to kick 5 or 6 goals. But at this stage, Thompson will be too strong.
Okay, out at the Kevin O'Leary Oval, the East Geelong Eagles, they take on the Belpost Hill Panthers. And Grubby, East Geelong, it's a bit of a hard task to come up against the Panthers, I would think.
Yeah, look, as I said last week, they were disappointing. I still kept them in the race there for a long time, but after the Werribee debacle, they're obviously, I don't think, they're not going to make the 5. And Belpost Hill looked good last week in patches. Thompson, they put on some physical pressure. And when they put the physical pressure on, Belpost Hill, they didn't look sideways, but in the end they were just about buggered in the end because of the pressure that Thompson put on them. And they tackled hard, and if East Geelong can do that for a while, they might be able to stay in the game, but not long enough to win it. Belpost Hill will win and win well.
Luke.
Yeah, East Geelong probably in a similar phase to us. Lost a lot of good players over the off-season and some retirements earlier this year with some experience going out of their side. So no doubt Ricky will be blooding some youth and some young guys, and they're probably just not going to be up to where Belpost Hill are at the moment. So Belpost Hill.
Both still the Panthers there out at the Devils Playground. I think they've got a reunion on this afternoon too, their 95 seconds and senior side. So it should be a great day indeed out at Cry Footy Club. But they had a pretty horrid week last Saturday up against the North Geelong Magpies. We won't go into it too much, but they need to bounce back and have a crack this afternoon. They're up against Grubby's old mob, Werribee Centrals. Do you give Cry any chance at all, Grubby, the fact they're playing at home?
Last year, the year before, I think they beat them and probably cost Werribee a spot in the finals last year because they were able to beat them at Corio, and normally they play really good football, but I just don't know whether they've got the firepower. They're just a little bit worse than they have been for the last few years, and as we said, they've got to build up. Brett Pollard's got a really good a junior thing going on out there, and obviously they're going to get stronger. It's going to take a couple of years, and I think Werribee will be too strong.
Luke, can you see Cry winning a game this afternoon?
Oh, I think they'll be up against it, Dick. Listen, I mean, some of their energy at times is really good, and certainly when we played them a couple of weeks ago, they can play some good patches of footy, but then they just sort of really sort of go away from the task, and that's probably the youth that's in the side that Grubb mentioned, and certainly it's happened with us at different times throughout the year as well. So they're probably no doubt similar to us in terms of pretty much a total rebuild and a start again sort of process. So Werribee obviously a little bit more advanced and more experienced players, and probably some stronger bodies as well, and obviously a couple of really good forwards up in that forward line. So I'd imagine Werribee will go there and get the chocolates.
They've lost a few though.
They have?
Oh yeah.
They've still got the buddies.
Yeah, the buddies are there. Balaganti's out for the... I thought he was their best player, actually. He's out for the year. Ford, the kid they got the amateurs, out for the year, and Braden Montebruno's out for the year. So they're losing them by the dozens.
You might get a game yet, mate. Come back.
Oh, I might. I'll probably be their best player.
You won't be the ruck anyway.
Tell me this, in segment 3, that idiot Mitchell was here in segment 1. Where'd he go? Where did he go? Oh, he's back!
Whatever.
Oh, look,
Tosca.
no.
Did you go to the toilet?
Well, no, my wife called and said, look, she needed me for a minute, so I had to
don't go into that.
away, you know.
Why couldn't she just use the next door neighbour?
He's on holidays.
All right, we've got one more game to go, and it's Geelong West out at the Western Oval, and the Geelong West Shooters, they take on the North Geelong Magpies. I'll go around the table pretty quick. We're just about out of time. Mitch, do you think Geelong West cause an upset?
No.
Thank you very much. Grubby.
Their form was pretty good last week against Bendigo, and I think they'll beat North easy.
Complete fool. You are a complete
They
idiot.
obviously did him out. They looked him up last week.
I know.
North Geelong for me.
Make some sense out of it, Luke. Thank you very much, the North Geelong Magpies. Well, that takes care of another show. Mitch, enjoy your game this afternoon. I guess you're going out to Winch.
I certainly will be going
Have a
to
look at
Winch. I followed Luke as a young player, and he's a very, very good coach, Luke. And to tell you the truth, Tommy Tigers have got a few out today, so I'm a little worried about the trip out to the gun club.
There you
go. So go easy on us, Luke, will you?
Grubby, you're going to make it the match this afternoon?
Oh, I hope so.
That'll be nice to
Who
see you
knows?
there. And Luke, all the best for this afternoon, mate. Once again, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
That takes care of another show, and I hope your footy team wins this afternoon. We'll see you all again next Saturday morning. Bye for now.
With all our favourite sons, never ever beaten. Australia's #1. We'll get the goals, boys, right from the jump. If we use some handball and never shirk a ball. So give it all your best as we answer to the call. Geelong in district football, the greatest league of all. Come together, the best from all the league, to show them how to play and form a mighty team. The pride of our region with all our favourite sons, never ever beaten, Australia's #1. We'll get the goals, boys, right from the jump. If we use some handball and never shirk a bump. So give it all your best as we answer to the call. Geelong in district football, the greatest league of all.